soon as the clown had been put into the asylum, things had gotten a lot easier for me. No need for competition, just an infinite bloodbath all for me. An assortment of crimson nectar dripping from someone's wounded flesh. It was amazing, being able to kill the innocent freely without interruption. Hell, I even heard that bald little crybaby had recently been caught too. It was just me, lurking the dark streets of Midtown, committing as many murders as I pleased. But knowing them, they'll probably escape their imprisonment one way or another. That's why I entered this contest. If I won, Calypso told me he could grant me the ability to wipe out my competition and make me the bloodiest serial killer there ever was. Looks like he's gotten himself a new competitor for this year's contest. I'm about to paint this tournament red. Blood red. I was out like a vulnerable young lady, smothered in her own flesh and blood. The temptation was killing me, but as I was out, I began to have some vivid dreams. Dreams about... oh no, not him. It was about a year ago. I was casually strolling down a dark street, looking for fresh prey. As I was walking, there was this strong, metallic smell, which is something I'm familiar with, coming from a nearby alleyway. I've never been in that alleyway before. I automatically knew to go down there and check it out. When I reached the end, it was just as I suspected. It was what was left of a 20-year-old female. Her body was covered in blood, having stab wounds all over her. The violence, it was so broken. It was so messy. It disgusted me. I wasn't responsible for that one. That's when I knew something was up. I then turned my head. That's when I saw... Impossible. The people of this town are scared of some stupid circus clown. They aren't afraid of me. This sweet tooth guy was hogging all the glory. That's when I decided to up my game, murdering my victims in a more grotesque way. That joke of a clown could never know how to mutilate such delicious flesh like I have. The sweet blood that pours out of these innocent people is what keeps me going. And when I win this tournament, Calypso will make sure that the forecast calls for raining blood, 24/7. The contest was over, and I was the one with the most bloodshed, so I went and saw Calypso. I asked him to keep his end of the bargain, to make me the bloodiest serial killer there ever was. Everyone was gonna know me. The name Crimson Killer would go down in history as one of the most gruesome murderers there ever was. Calypso tossed me a blade. I looked at it, not knowing exactly what he wanted me to do. He told me that if I wanted to prove that I had what it takes to really be the bloodiest killer of all time, then I had one last job to do. Hands-on kind of work. I like that. If you want something done right, you do it yourself. I agreed to participate in this little bonus round. This was going to be easy. Next thing I knew, I was in some sort of battle arena. Standing before me were my two biggest opponents, that bald little bitch Cage and that pathetic excuse of a circus clown, Sweet Tooth. Killing these two would be a piece of cake. Hell, maybe even a bit of ice cream. But to my surprise, Sweet Tooth was quick to wipe out that little crybaby. Hey, but he never stood a chance. But I didn't stand much of a chance either. I must have gotten a little too cocky. As I was down, he began to stare at me. Looking him in the eyes made me realize how dumb that mask made him look. Having to hide his identity showed how much of a coward he really was. But then, he spoke to me.
Well, look at what we have here. A pathetic little punk trying to overthrow his king. Did you actually think I was gonna let you get rid of me? There is only room for one serial killer in this town, and his name is Sweet Tooth. Not a single soul is gonna remember who you were. You're just more trash on the side of the road. Now shut up and bleed, you motherfucker.
I guess I really am the bloodiest serial killer now. I just wish the blood didn't come from me.